At the hunting parties, they would, they'd have all these expendable children outside in the woods, and usually they have holding grounds, like a tunnel system or something underground where they hold the kids in cages until the time of the hunt.
Brian is the famous artist, and we always make fun of each other and portray each other in silly, satirical ways.
Theo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah. Is he?
I mean, he tries to kiss me on the lips.
No,
listen,
I'm not gonna...
Oh, act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Unreasonable. He said, so they beat the absolute hell out of him, too.
Okay. He said 72,000.
How would they take these kids? Like, where would they
Where were they, and how the girls that were hooked on drugs, right, and would leave them in the hospital. They would come in there and they'd act as if they were family and grab them, right, and then sell the baby.
I was 6 when it started, and for the first 3 years, I was used as what was called an expendable child. In the Belgian network, there was a group, particularly aristocrats, children. So in this network, you have to understand it's a network. Expendable children, that means that those children could be used for anything. That could mean they could be used for torture. And I was...
About Steven Spielberg. He eats babies. Whole babies.
And that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. There was a circle of older men that surrounded themselves around this group of kids.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
That's what Steven says.
Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good director, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, am I still friend? Would you call yourself a loyal friend?
I'm a loyal man.
Loyal man. Okay. What was the age? And I know this person's your man. I'm going to be respectful when I ask you these questions. I'm not going to ask you any got you questions. P. Diddy, how old were you when you met him?
Like 16, 15.
Okay. Was there any rumors at that time, anything going on weird, or was it strictly business? Because back then, he was the man, you know?
He's the best producer in the world. And when he figured out that he was the best producer in the world, he met a couple of people in a few circles that told him that certain things were okay. And we're not going to play like his childhood trauma doesn't deal with anything that goes on.
So all those pedophile parties and human hunting parties, it's how they control these people. It's with blackmail. So each of these countries, Holland has a dark side and it has a light side. England has a dark side and it has a light side. But the dark side is always associated with the Jesuit.
You see that? He sacrificed himself. Now he's known as Will Smith. Ain't that some shit? I got to see sacrifice as a kid. Will used to put me on his lap when I was driving his car as a kid. Like I didn't know he was Will Smith, but to see somebody without his face.
While these men were doing this and they were climbing, I don't think I would have been able to go to school believing that I was a prostitute in the weekends or something. So I actually was dissociated, also because of the trauma, but also because of the shame, and also because of my mother's denial and her idea that she was a great mother and that everything was normal in our family. At age 9, I was given as a present to an American billionaire who was visiting Belgium at the time because of the Bilderberg meeting that was held in Belgium in 1972.
It's that people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs with them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people...
But before Allie could get into more...
This most dangerous game, as they referred to it, was a matter of human hunting.
And when a mind control slave such as myself was stripped of clothes and turned loose in the woods, I was then hunted by George Bush, Dick Cheney, and Bill Clinton, among others. But they were the main ones. I do not believe that it was necessary for them to have subjected me to this form of trauma.
Satanism is a religion for the elite. It is a religion for leaders.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration.
Really trying on something different for myself. That was Satanism. It's working out really well.
In this movie, you're fighting the devil. I call him Beelzebub, Lucifer. It's how I got this job.
But keep this in prayer, y'all, because this is.
They told me they're gonna make an example on me. That because I say Jesus so much, they're gonna put me on a cross and they're gonna crucify me the whole world and say, "Yep, this is what we do. This is what we do." So please help me out. If that's what's supposed to happen, let God's will be done, not mine. I'm okay with that. And this is the truth. Have I lied about anything else? Nothing. So why would I lie about that? Like the people in black robes, bro. I conjured up. No, I don't even want to tell you. No, this is deep. God asked me to do this. I'm gonna just do it. I conjured up demons. I did.
All right, so when you get parties.
Yeah, but it's a whole bunch of people. It's just that from my childhood perspective, what I saw or what I thought that I saw was he was the big boss. Donald Trump was the big boss, and then Epstein was like you said, like the manager or something. And then you had lower level people like my dad that kind of went out and found girls or coordinated, at the ground level of things.
Yeah. So in terms of
one of the programs that I was in that I believe to be Lincoln Park was a Hunger Game, almost Roland Coliseum type scenario that we were thrust into this age with multiple other children, young. I've just never forgotten that horror-stricken scream and the feeling of hopelessness that I had, that I wasn't actually able to protect him fully from what was going on. All we could do was shake and comfort each other on the floor while this disgusting theater was being enacted.
I reached out to Charlie Mack, who was managing the board. So Charlie was managing Yaz.
Oh.
So Charlie is the one that brought Yaz to Will.
You know, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love.
I said, listen, Yaz is going crazy. He's saying that Will him, and he said Diddy made him his. At this point, I'm crying because I feel this pain. Like, I can kind of tell when somebody phony and all, but it was the pain where the snot was coming out his nose. His nose was bleeding. He in the corner screaming, balled up, right? Like, I could feel his pain like he had.
Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Sack,
Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama. Have you had personal sexual experiences with these people?
Yes. What goes on under...
This one is difficult, but it matters. Sasha Riley is a white male, decorated Iraq war veteran, and a survivor who has publicly shared testimony alleging that he was trafficked as a child. He states that from within ages 9 to 13, he was trafficked within what he describes as the Trump-Epstein network.
And he took me and the other two boys on a week-long trip to Lake George, water ski during the day. And then at night, we were in a tent. And the first night was great because we grilled and it was just a fun time. But that night, he was all over me. He had me naked in the tent and it was awful. It was awful. And then every night after that, it was the same thing. So after dinner, I would wander away from our little campsite and just throw up in the woods because I knew what was coming and I couldn't find a way to avoid it. I couldn't find a way to escape. The other two boys were in the tent and I'm sure they were in survival mode and they just pretended they were asleep because there's no way you could sleep through it. I was wailing. I was scared and just crying, and he didn't care. It almost turned him on more. It almost made him like it more, like a rape scenario or something.
And did you ever discuss with those other boys what happened, or no?
No, it was like I was in my own little stovepipe, my own little nightmare, and I wouldn't share it. I wouldn't talk about it. I couldn't talk to adults because for some reason Nolan told me I can't. This is our little secret.
Once Yahweh Shai returns, man, that's it. There will be no war after that. The nations won't have weapons to engage in a war. When we come down and we snatch these demons out of these bunkers, they're going to be hiding in the dens and in the caves of the earth, all right, asking the rocks to fall upon them to deliver them from the wrath of the Lamb.